Hi, you guys. This is Barbie Baptiste Gardner with Mommy Sense, Mastering Our Means to Success.
Hello, I think we're good.
Okay.
Hi, I am Barbie Baptiste Gardner with Mommy Sense, Mastering Our Maze to Success. And today I am so excited. We are here with Kim McGee. And Kim and I met each other in our branding group, Lights Camera Branding, with the amazing Coach Glitter. And I feel like she is one of my nearest and dearest now. We both have been supportive of each other's platforms. And she is an amazing pastry and vegan chef. And she definitely has tempted me to go to the other side because I'm not vegan. So let's meet Kim McGee, and you let everyone know a little bit more about yourself, Kim, and your background.
Okay, thanks, Barbie. My name is Kim McGee, and like she said, I am a pastry chef and a vegan chef. I'm a wife and a mother of 3, and basically I help meat eaters love plants so you can learn to heal your bodies from the inside out with the power of food.
You guys absolutely have to see so many of her creations because she does her, I'd say you showcase the vegan side, even though you have a pastry background. I've seen some of your beautiful cake creations. But every Friday, right, you do your In the Kitchen with Kim.
Yes.
And she shows these meals that look amazing. Haven't tasted them yet, but we're locally based, so I intend on tasting them at some point.
Yes, soon. Yes.
But let me ask you, Kim, for someone like myself with a very, very full household, I would love to start cooking like that. And to be honest, because I'm 46 years old, I don't know if something happens, over time. I hear a lot of people's diet changes. Your body doesn't process things the same way. You probably can enlighten us more on that. But I want to know, in regards to me being a busy mom, what do you think would be the best way to try to implement a healthier lifestyle into our lives?
Okay, so I first want to start out by saying the vegan lifestyle or the plant-based lifestyle is not a diet. It's a lifestyle. Okay. So you want to adapt it as such. And I would start by just eating sides. We all cook meals for our family, and then we have our basic meat and then our sides, maybe a vegetable or starch, rice, potatoes. I would start by simply just eating sides. So omit the meat maybe once or twice a week. Okay. If you're feeling froggy and you want to jump, maybe three times a week. But that's how I generally started. I didn't know what to cook. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to buy. But I just started with where I knew to start and what I had. So I just omitted the meat, and then I just ate the sides. And then gradually, as I was doing my research, because I've always been in the kitchen, I've always been cooking. So that's something that I love to do, but I really wanted to master it. Mm-hmm. So that's when I began experimenting with different vegetables and flavors and stuff like that. And what people really don't know about the plant-based lifestyle is that it's very delicious. It's all about the seasonings. Just like when you're cooking your regular food, if you were to cook a steak, if you didn't season the steak, it would be horrible.
Right.
But once you add, you know, your salt and your pepper and your maybe your onion powder, you know, once you add your seasonings, that's what brings the meat and the food to life. So it's the same thing eating plant-based. You just have to, you know, flavor your food and season it.
Okay, and what about, because I have boys and I feel like they are growing by the millisecond as
Yes.
far as what these children can eat.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any little tricks as far as, because I'm always trying to make sure that I fill them up, whether it's giving them more bread or whatever
Mm-hmm.
like that. So to me, to get rid of the meat, that sounds scary. Are there like some tricks that maybe we could try to, you know, that would appeal to the kids and
Mhm.
fill them up at the same time if you're omitting that?
Okay, so I'm 80% vegan and 20% indulgence.
Okay.
So I forgot to mention that. That's my motto. 80% vegan plus 20% indulgence equals a happy balance. So
Okay.
you're not omitting your meat completely.
Okay.
It's just during the week or however your schedule is based. You want to eat plant-based at least 4 to 5 times a week. And then the other, you know, 3 to 2 days or 2 to 3 days, you know, you have your meat. So however you want to space it out, if it's every other day or if it's consecutive days, it's just all up to you. But you're not getting rid of your meat completely. You're just eating more plants than meat.
Okay. Now,
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, well, no, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Since I wanted to ask you, since you've done that, because I feel like the more that I drink like smoothies, you know, green smoothies, or start eating salads more often, I actually start to crave it. Where it's not that I don't eat the meat, because I clearly do, but I can go without. Like, I find fillers. Do you find the same thing? Like, if today you had to, you know, do it 100%, it wouldn't be a big deal for you?
Yes, yeah. It wouldn't be a big deal. Me personally, I would still want to indulge from time to time because I don't want to feel like there's any restrictions on me. Like I said, it's not a diet, but it's more of a lifestyle. And I think when you label it as a diet, then you feel like, oh, I'm restricted. I can't have this. I can't have that. So naturally you want to rebel
Right.
and just do what you want to do.
Right.
But if you have the mindset as, you know, this is an indulgence for me. If I want something and if I'm truly craving it, I'm just going to feel that craving and I'm going to pick up where I left off eating my vegetables and other plant-based foods.
Okay.
So I know for me, I got rid of all of the unhealthy stuff in my house slowly but surely. I think it took about a good month, a good 30 days to just like really take the stuff that I didn't want my family eating out of the house and then replace it with healthy snacks. And then I still have a few treats, but I keep them locked up in my room and then I just dish them out. That way you're not, you know, so quick to go to it, because whatever you have in your house on hand, that's what you're going to go to and that's what you're going to eat. But if you have more healthy things in your household, then you're pretty much forced to figure something out and, you know, just cook or make a snack out of that. And I don't want to get people confused, but eating plant-based is not just all salads. It's not just all smoothies. There's so many things on the market now to where you really feel like you're eating a traditional meal, especially the way that I present my recipes and the way that I come up with them, because what I want to do is not make it so hard to transition, but make it easier for people to transition by preparing meals that they're used to seeing, preparing meals that they love, that they know that that's a part of their upbringing, their tradition. So that's what I try to do, because that's how I look at it. I'm like, what do I like? What do I, you know? So that's what I try to incorporate So it's easier to get people to come to the other side.
So I'm writing my notes because I didn't want to forget some of the things I wanted to ask you. You said the unhealthy stuff. So in every family, in every household, you know, unhealthy stuff is going to be different.
Yes.
And let me just say right now, this post that you did that totally called me out. I don't even drink soda that much, but I was hooked on Diet Coke. Oh my God, you put that post up, and I always knew, you know, soda's not a good thing for us to drink. It's not the healthiest. But I thought someone said that before I saw your post that if you drank 8 glasses of water that like washed away, you know, that soda. But on your post, you said something a little bit different, and I think I've had more Diet Coke since then. Really?
Okay. Yes.
So can you repeat what you said in that post? Because I know you remember, Kim.
Yes, I do. Okay, so soda is very unhealthy for you. Traditionally, back in the day when we were growing up, it was made with sugar or cane sugar, and it wasn't so bad. But now they make it with high fructose corn syrup, which is horrible. It causes diabetes. It causes a lot of weight gain. It causes a lot of autoimmune diseases, and then it also causes a lot of acidity in your body because there's acidic and alkaline. So you want your body in an alkaline state. Cancer cannot survive in an alkaline state. A lot of diseases cannot survive in an alkaline state. So that's how we want our body. And the soda, now it has the high fructose corn syrup in it. So it takes at least 32 to 36 glasses of water to wash away just 1 8-ounce can of soda, glass can. And if you think about it, the majority of people don't grab a can anymore. They have like the 16-ounce bottle. Yeah. So basically you're taking down 2 sodas at once, and then it's going to take over 72 cups of water. And if your water intake is low, then your body is just full of soda. That's what's in your system. And soda robs you of your minerals. Minerals are more important than vitamins. So, you know, your iron, your potassium, magnesium, all of these things are minerals that our body needs on a cellular level. We need that because we're electrical beings. We're energy. So that's where the minerals come into play. And the soda will drain you and rob you of all of that on a day-to-day basis. So your body is never recovering, never getting a chance to heal, never getting a chance to do what it's meant to do if you're constantly just taking in soda. And I know people who have sodas like that's all they drink. They hate water. Wow. And we're 75% water, so we need that water. And if you're not drinking enough water, that's where the veggies come into play, and the fruit, because the majority of the vegetables and the fruit, they're like high 80s, high 90s% water. So if you're not drinking enough, then you're still getting your water by eating your vegetables and your fruit. Right. Yes.
Okay, so other than the soda, what are some other unhealthy things that we should try to remove from, you know, our household? Because, you know, one of the things I know that I give my kids for a snack in their little lunches is a fruit snack. And I know that's not real fruit. So I'm saying that to say, you know, we could all have different perceptions, and we could think that we're doing a good job. You know? And this isn't to make anyone feel bad. This is
no, not at all.
More aware.
Yes. Okay, so that's how we lived. You know, that was the norm for us. You know, chips, fruit snacks, the Fiber One bars, the cookies, anything that was labeled a snack food.
Yeah.
So as I start to research and learn, I started to read labels, and that's the most important tool that you can have with you in this lifestyle or any lifestyle is reading labels.
Yeah.
If you pick up the chips, if you pick up the fruit snacks, if you pick up the cookies and read the labels, half of the stuff you cannot even pronounce. So you don't even know what you're eating. You just know it tastes good
Right.
and you want some.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why we're not feeling our best, why we don't have the energy to hang with our kids and really stick it out, or we don't have the energy to do the things that we want to do, or we're feeling down, or we're really moody, or we have headaches all the time. That's all because of the things that we're eating. So we really have to get in tune with ourselves and with our body, because everyone knows their body, or they should learn to know their body. Your body tells you what it doesn't like by symptoms. You know, if you're having headaches all the time, that's your body trying to tell you there's something you're not doing right. If you don't have the energy, that's your body trying to tell you there's something that you're not doing right. And it all stands on what we put into our body. So that's what I started to omit: the chips, the cookies, the fruit snacks, all of those things that are everyday snacks in our household. And, you know, it's nothing that we were doing wrong. These are the things that we were taught. All of the commercials that come on, that we see, you know, everything is just being flooded to us. And we're like, oh, okay, that doesn't seem so bad. But when you actually take the time to read the ingredients that are inside, they're all bad. They're all things that we cannot pronounce. A lot of them are actual chemicals that they use in paint, that they use for like, yes. Most of the cereals on the market have chemicals that construction workers use. And they're tying this in marketing it to us and our families. And then in turn, we're giving it to our kids. And then we wonder why they're coming down with stuff earlier and earlier and earlier. The diabetes rate is so high for kids right now, especially type 2. It's ridiculous. So I guess
right now.
But, you know, don't feel bad, because when we know better, we do better. And I did this with my boys, but with my girl, you know, my baby girl, she's 3.
Okay.
I'm getting a chance to do it right. So I don't give her any juice. I don't give her any soda. If she does have a juice, it's on our indulgence days. And I make sure it's a good brand that has, like, you know, simple ingredients. I like the Simply brand.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard of that, but the Simply brand is really good.
Does it say Simply Organic? I can't remember.
It just says Simply, but their brand is automatically non-GMO. So non-GMO is GMOs. Let me start there. GMOs are genetically modified organisms.
Okay.
So these are foods that are genetically modified. They're cooked up in the lab. They're experimented with. So they're not naturally grown from the earth.
Okay.
And that's what we want to stay close to, things that are naturally grown, opposed to things that are made up in the lab, because we don't know what they're cooking up, what they're making up, what they're giving to us. It's just what it is. So you want to go for non-GMO, which means non-genetically modified organisms. And then you want to stick to more organic foods. And organic foods are more natural foods that's not sprayed with like pesticides and chemicals. Because I found out during my research that genetically modified organisms, so all of the fruits and vegetables and everything that they're offering to us in the store that we buy, they're sprayed with so many chemicals, so many pesticides, that when the farmers are, you know, tending to these crops, they have to be suited from head to toe and covered, because that stuff is that poisonous and that dangerous to where they can't even come in contact with it. So it's not so much the food, is what they're spraying the food with.
Right.
And then now they mixed in how they're cooking it and growing up the food in the lab. So now you have food that's concocted, basically, and then the chemicals and the poisons mixed with it. And yeah, that's just like a recipe for disaster.
This is organic food as well?
No, organic food is grown how it used to be grown back in the day, where they grow it. You know, there's bugs that eat some of the crop and they take that as a loss, but the crops that remain, they pick and then they sell to us. So it's not being sprayed, it's not being poisoned, it's just grown how God intended it to grow.
So when we see like these fresh farmers markets that pop up, are those good places?
Yes, because that stuff is grown locally, so you can do organic or fresh farmers markets, because that's what I was going to mention. The farmers markets are great, and then your grocery stores is great as well, as long as you're in the organic section. So let me paint a picture for you. You know, when you go into the grocery store and then you're in the fruit or the vegetable department, you have this little department that says organic.
Yeah.
And then all of the rest of the fruit and vegetable is just regular.
Mm-hmm.
That's the little part that's organic. So that's your safety zone. All of the other stuff is GMO.
Okay, now let me ask you something, because I read a book a while ago. And it said, in regards to what's organic, it said that really if you eat something with the skin, like a banana, an orange, that it's okay if that's not organic. Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
But you want to go for organic, and if they don't have it, then certain fruits and vegetables you can with the thick skin. Like, for instance, me and my husband, we needed some lemons last night, and they didn't have organic lemons. They just had the regular lemons, but it was okay because it has that tough skin. Right. So some things you can, but basically you really want to go for organic. But if they don't have it available, then you can do the conventional.
And do you wash? I know that's another thing that I've heard, that you can wash things that are not organic a certain way, other than.
Well, I usually just wash my fruits and veggies with water. If I'm doing like greens or something that's really, really dirty and have bugs, like a lot of bugs, I might fill up my sink with a little water and maybe put a little baking soda in there, maybe, or a little salt. It just depends. And then just let them sit for a few minutes and then rinse them and dry them off. But normally I just wash them regular.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some healthier things? Because everything you listed, okay, I'm out there right now. I'm gonna tell you. So
okay.
everything you said, those things, the cookies and I think you said the specific bars, all that stuff. I was like, I put those in the lunches today. Those went out with my kids. I feel so bad. And I really don't eat that stuff. Like, I'll buy blue corn tortilla chips for myself. And sometimes it's just easier. I have tried and I have done, but then I'll just get into, this is easy. Let's go. We got a lot going on. So do you have suggestions for something?
Yes, I do have suggestions. So you can, it's not the end of the world. You can still give your kids the snacks, but you want to make sure that the snacks that they're eating, you can pronounce the ingredients and that they're organic or non-GMO. So when I shop and I buy chips, because my daughter, she loves chips. She's a chip fanatic. Okay. I buy the Simply Lay's, because Lay's has two different brands. They have the GMO version and they have the organic version.
Okay.
So I give her the Simply Ruffles, and you can read the ingredients. It says potato chips, sea salt, and maybe like some sunflower oil or something, opposed to the regular Ruffles that has potatoes and then maybe like 10 different ingredients that you cannot pronounce because there's a lot of fillers. So there's alternative. The cookies, they have chocolate chip cookies, they have Oreo cookies that are organic, that are non-GMO. They're made with simple ingredients. So you can give your kids these things, but it's just without the poisons and the chemicals.
Okay, so this Simply brand is kind of like everywhere. It's not, so it's
Yes.
not the one. Okay, I think I have seen this. Okay, so I'm going to definitely look into that. So let me ask you, as far as, I saw you did a post the other day, 5 years ago, and
Yes.
now, so basically, I'll let you say what you said about the, I mean, you looked amazing. So, so I would think that that is one of the benefits of this healthier lifestyle. Can you go into that a little more? Why would we even be tempted to go towards this healthier plant-based life?
Okay. So, overall, we're being systematically poisoned through our water, our air, and our food. Water, like the regular tap water, contains fluoride, chlorine. Fluoride is a very dangerous chemical. We're not supposed to be ingesting that at all. So if you have toothpaste that you're using right now with fluoride in it, I say let that be your last tooth and get the fluoride-free toothpaste, because that's something that we're putting in our mouths daily off the top. As far as our food is concerned, like I was saying, you just want to make sure that you're taking in simply ingredients as natural as possible. And then even with the things that we're putting on our skin, like I say, for an example, a bar of soap, there's so many chemicals in that bar of soap. So every single day we're eating poisons, we're putting them on our skin, we're lathering them in our hair, we're brushing our teeth with them. And over time, not even that long, in 3 years difference, you can tell the difference from someone who's taking all of that stuff in to someone who's not. It ages you faster. It breaks down your body faster. So you're not your best. You're not looking your best. You're not feeling your best. So what you want to do is slowly transition all of your healthcare products, your hygiene products, and your food to more natural, healthier things. And when I say healthy, I don't mean, oh, I have to have a salad every single day. Right. Because a lot of people misinterpret vegans or plant-based lifestyle as just salads only. You know, and who can eat a salad every day? Come on now. I would get tired. I wouldn't even stick with that.
I love salad. But I do. I mean, you know, I don't love everything else here. I'm just moving this because I feel like I'm a little dark. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, in your post, you from 5 years ago, you can clearly see you had lost a lot of weight.
Yes, over 30 pounds.
It looked like you looked younger even. You know, like you said, you're reversing the aging process by doing this.
Yes.
Sign me up. Like.
Yes, and it's because of the soy. I don't know if you've heard of soy before, but soy is not good for us. So, soy is in almost everything. It's in the chips. It's in the food.
Soy was the vegan. Okay, so I'm on.
No, that's what they want you to believe. Oh. So, yeah, it can be a little tricky, but soy is not good for you because it produces estrogen in your body. And as women, we only have a certain amount of estrogen that our body produces. As men, their body doesn't produce estrogen at all. They produce testosterone. So that's where you get like the man boobs, the big round belly that you see people have, because they're flooding their body with all of this estrogen, which throws their hormones out of whack, which in turn throws your body out of whack. So if you read the labels, there's soy in almost everything, Barbie. And I mean, when I say everything, almost everything. So you definitely want to read your labels and start to omit that little by little. Will you completely get it out of your diet and your system? No, because we do eat out from time to time. We do want to indulge, but those are times that you're in control.
Yeah.
You see, yeah, you know what you're getting, you know what you're eating, and it's not 7 days of the week, 365 days of the year.
Right.
So I don't eat soy, and I omitted.
I heard about that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I heard about that for I think for men or for boys that you shouldn't. Wait, is it that? I think it is the soy that you shouldn't.
Yes, it is.
You
shouldn't. And let me drop a little truth bomb on you.
Oh, okay.
For the Enfamil and the Similac that the babies are eating, they have so much soy in those formulas. So that's why you want to get a soy-free formula. When I was doing my research, I found out that they have 10 times the estrogen or the hormones coming from that soy than one birth control pill. So when you're giving your baby these things, it's just like you're pumping them full of hormones right from the gate. And then that's why they're having the ear infections, they're sick all the time, they have the eczema and all of the other things. Because if you think about it, when we were growing up in the time, we didn't have all those issues. These are newer because of what we're eating.
Right.
And they're giving it to the babies like right out of the womb. We're going to get them unhealthy so that way they can come to the doctor and we can make our money right off the top. We have a lifetime client. So that's why that's why I said in that post, I don't know. I just felt so bad. I just felt so guilty. I forgot the word that I used. Was I astounded? I used something. I was terrified. It was just, yeah.
This is really, we already, as moms, whether you have a business, work in a business or not, it's trying to do what's right for your family, trying to do what's right for yourself, so you can be the best for your business, for your family. All these little hidden, and I'm not gonna lie, reading the labels so what I'm gonna do, just because I've realized that everything in my life has to be simplified in order for me to execute, and then I build from there.
Yes.
So what I heard you say is, if I want to, really try this, first of all, you gave me a brand. You said Simply, so I can look out for that. Mm-hmm. Definitely a body that's alkaline. So alkaline water is my friend.
No, not alkaline water. Natural spring water.
Oh, Kim, you are dropping the truth. Wait, I've been buying.
That was in the post.
Alkaline water. Is that
that was in the post? Okay, see, I'm going to give you an example. See this? This is Crystal Geyser natural spring water. Natural spring water is automatically alkaline. It has a pH balance of 7.2 to 7.4, which is past the acidity side. You're on you're more on the alkaline side. If you buy the alkaline water and you read the ingredients, that's why I said reading the labels is so important. Right. The first thing it says is purified water. Purified water is just like you seeing the water machines that's out on the street, and then you put a quarter in it and you fill up the jug. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know when's the last time they changed that filter on that thing. You don't know. Yes, you don't know the source. So, and then there's additives in it. So it's like sodium bicarbonate. I think that's like a baking soda. So
Right.
it's a lot of fillers. So water, believe it or not, is naturally acidic, but natural spring water bottled from the source is alkaline. So that's why you just want to do a natural spring water. So spring water is your go-to friend. I like Crystal Geyser because it's bottled from the source. They keep up with their regulations. Everything's intact. Even Arrowhead, it's a mountain spring water, but they don't keep up with the rules and regulations, so you don't know what they're doing. So that's why I just do like a natural spring water, either a Crystal Geyser or whatever brand. You know how the grocery stores have their own brand, maybe like Kroger might have, their brand. As long as it's natural spring water, then you're good to go. So,
And I've heard that adding lemon to it makes it alkaline. Is that true?
lemon is more acidic. So if you want to add a citrus to it, add a lime. Add a lime.
Well, I would only be adding, well, I do like the taste of it, but what I heard was that it makes it more alkaline. So that's not necessarily the case.
No, that's going to make it more acidic because lemon is acidic. So when a recipe calls for lemons, I usually use limes. I only use lemons if I have to, or if I'm trying to maybe like cure something, because lemons, don't get me wrong, they're good when it comes to some remedies, but in your overall lifestyle or your overall recipes, whenever they cost for a lemon, I use a lime because it's a natural. A lemon is a hybrid, is something that was man-made. A lime is natural.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Didn't know that. Okay. So
So let me move that out the way. So stay away from the alkaline waters. Just get natural spring water. All of that fancy worded mojo is just all marketing for you to buy their water, and you're getting purified water with a bunch of fillers, which is going to do the opposite. Smart water, no. Alkaline water, no. So, yeah, we want to get our electric lights and our minerals naturally.
So let me ask you, because I know we're talking a lot about the details of, we can come back to that, but I want to make sure that I get to this,
Okay.
the vegan lifestyle. This platform is definitely about our businesses as moms or where we work, but it's also about how we're balancing managing business and family and self, which I know a lot of that we touched on. But how do you, I call it flexible consistency, meaning I feel as though when moms are working moms, a lot of times and a lot of things that I've heard from moms is where they get frustrated because there's our schedules can be erratic, whether that's a cold, whether that's sports are changing, schedules changing, anything, whatever it may be. And every household is different.
Yes.
Every household operates differently. But how do you handle pushing through, or even maintaining in regards to those things, maintaining your family, managing, and then if there's ever schedule changes and how that affects things for you?
Okay, so that is one of the reasons why I became a business owner, why I became an entrepreneur, so I could make time for my kids and my family, and just so I can have the freedom to create my own schedule.
Okay.
And there are some pros and some cons. So the pros are, you're able to be there for your family. You're able to go to school plays and school meetings and show up for them. The cons are, as they get older, they feel a sense of entitlement. So they expect you to drop whatever you're doing and be there for them because that's what they're used to. And I've only recently discovered this as my kids got older, because I have a 23-year-old and I have a 15-year-old. And then I have my baby, which is a 3-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
The 15-year-old, he would call me like, "Oh, Mom, I want lunch today. Can you bring it?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm in the middle of working. Even though I have my own business, I'm still working." So I had to sort of explain that to him. And then also, when my family is going through a crisis, or someone is sick, or someone is not mentally well, because, sometimes life can take a toll on us and we have to take a break. That's what I did. I took a break. And I was like, "Babes, because my husband, he works with me. We've been doing the bakery thing for a long time together, where I was able to bring him in and we ran the business." Okay. But the times that I had to take care of my family and my household, I, just sort of like slowed down on my clientele, and he had to go to work. Right. Because I had to make sure that my kids, or our kids, were, mentally well, physically well. And if we were going through trying times, like, I've been homeless before, to where my business had to stop completely. And I just had to take that time and learn from those experiences, gather what lessons God was trying to show me, because I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and that we go through things for a reason. God is trying to show us and tell us, okay, there's something that you need to learn, and I need you to get it this time around, because if you don't, then you're going to cycle and go through the same thing again. It might be a different situation or a different problem, but the lesson that you're going to gain from that or get out of it is the same. And so that's why I'm always in tune, and I'm always aware, and I always approach situations like, "Okay, Lord, what is it that you want me to learn from this? Yeah. What is it that you need me to get from this?" So I can take that tool, I call lessons tools, put it in my tool belt. So I'm equipped to where you're trying to take me, because he's always trying to take us higher, lift us higher, take us to where we need to go. But a lot of times we stand in our own way. Right. And so if I need a break, I take a break. Right. If I have to adjust my schedule, I adjust my schedule. Right. If I have to scale back on clients and live on a tight budget, then that's what I do. Whatever I need to do in order to get where I need to go, that's what I do. I'm not really a materialistic person. So if I have to live on a tight budget and I can't have all the fancy things and wine and dine and go out to eat every weekend for a year or two, then I'm willing to make that sacrifice. So it all just depends on the person and what they're willing to sacrifice or to put on hold, just to get further. Because sometimes you have to take a step back. You have to take a break, especially as a mom. We have so much on our plate. We wear so many hats. We're doing so much. And we're always trying to live this perfect lifestyle that doesn't exist. It really doesn't. We're trying to be the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect PTA meeting, the perfect everything. But it doesn't exist. We have to learn to stay in our own lane and appreciate our life and what we have going on in our lives, instead of looking at everybody else and what they have going on in their lives, because they're different. That's why God made us unique. We're all different. We all walk a different path. We're all going to a different destination. So we have to stay in our own lane, so to speak.
Right, right. So how do you feel that you being a mom and having a family and being a wife, how do you think, I know you just touched on that, how do you think that impacts your business, and vice versa? How do you think that your business impacts your family, if that makes sense to you?
Yes. Okay. So it impacts my business in a way where, like I said, sometimes I might have to be on a tight budget. Sometimes I might not have to. I can splurge and do the things that I want, but I always let my kids know, look here, we on a budget. So, so it's a little tight now. I usually inform them so they know. And I've learned from experience, when you keep all these things from your kids, they think that you're rich. They think that you have all the money in the world. They think that you can get them whatever they want. And then they feel a sense of entitlement, like that's how it always should be, and I should never go without. But that's not teaching them the real world. And I had to learn that from experience with my older son, because he is spoiled rotten. So much so that now he just expects. He feels a sense of entitlement. He expects. He's like, well, you have it. You should be doing this. And that's not what I want for my other kids. Right. So that's why I'm learning from my mistakes. It's all about learning and growing. Mm-hmm. And that's why I let my two younger kids know, Mommy's on a budget this time, or we can't do this just yet. But that's why, I'm gearing up so we can, or, Daddy had a change in his schedule, so now we have to adjust or turn some things around. I explain it age appropriate to them, because I really want them to get the facts of life. And the facts of life is, you're never going to have everything that you want your way, when you want it, how you want it. It just doesn't work like that. You have to work for the things that you want, whether it's a job or whether it's in your own business. You have to work towards what you want. Nothing is just given to you or handed to you. And if it is, you're not going to appreciate it like you would if you actually work for it. Mm-hmm. And I want them to be productive citizens in the world. So that's why I'm really trying to just really learn from my mistakes and get them to see that it's okay if mommy makes mistakes. It's okay if mommy messes up. It's okay if mommy is not perfect. It's okay if mommy has to make changes that she needs to make in order for the house to run smoothly. Yeah. And I explain this to them so they can start to grasp it and then understand. Yeah. And then the way that you said my business affects my family.
Yes.
Okay.
I said both. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I touched on how that. Okay. So now, in the beginning stages of my business, I was in grind mode. I mean, I was working around the clock. Yeah. Every day, almost all day. I didn't have no shut off time. I didn't have no structure. I didn't have any balance. So they constantly complained that I worked too much. You're always working. You're working all the time. You never have time for us. You're always working every day, even on the weekends. Right. And so as they were telling me this, it really didn't faze me, because I was just like so focused, like I gotta get it off the ground, I gotta get it, I gotta make it. But as the years went by, I saw the effects, and that's when I started to really open my ears and listen. And I'm like, okay, people are always going to want cakes. They're always celebrating something. They're always celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, right. Something. The business will always be there, but my kids won't always be little forever. Right. So that's when the shift started, and I really started to prioritize and put them first, so to speak, to where I didn't let my business fall by the wayside, but I had a cutoff time. I had a start time. I had a cutoff time. I only took a certain amount of clients. I only did what I can do. And then I focus more on my kids, because at the end of the day, the customers that I serve will not be a part of my life forever. Maybe some will, maybe some won't. But it's nothing like, your kids. You actually have a relationship with them. You're going to see them pretty much for the rest of their lives. And you want to make sure the impact that you're making while they're younger sort of carries over into their adulthood in a positive way, not in a negative way. And so that's why I just really start to prioritize my family, and then I started creating my schedule around them. So even if I had to lose clients, even if I had to lose money, that stuff is monetary. I can get that back.
Right.
With my kids, I can't get that time back. So I had to take a loss somewhere, and before it was with my kids, but once that shift changed, then it was more monetary, more money that I had to sacrifice for their well-being, and that's what I did.
When you
and it didn't last.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
When you look back on that time period, I just don't know how to get around in the beginning of a business not having that laser focus like you said. I don't know how to avoid that. I just don't. And
there's no way to avoid it.
To ever hear how you can do it.
Yeah.
And I actually even heard years ago, I think it was a business magazine, I can't remember which one. It said that moms take twice the amount of time to start a business as someone who is not a mom.
Yes.
Because of, our obligations, responsibilities. And that's why I feel like we need to be vocal, because, we don't need to bail out. We don't need, because things happen, a hurdle might happen. And then because we're also listening to someone say how to do it these structured ways. But to me, it doesn't always necessarily apply to moms or parent. If you're a dad who's mostly responsible for the children, or just very involved with your children. But I feel like we have to, especially, the world is changing. I feel like we have to write our own, way to success to, film it. So what I was going to ask you, Kim, when you look back on that time period, even though I know you said you had to take the cut monetarily, do you feel that you yourself as a business person got more strategic in regards to, clearly, when we do that grind, we are learning. We don't feel like it necessarily in the moment, but when we look back, it could be 2 months and say, wow, from where I was to where I am.
Yeah.
So, I know now you're probably leaps from that point, but you said you took the hit monetarily, but you were more of an expert. So even today you might say, well, I did take the hit monetarily, but I was better. So maybe I had less clients, but I could charge more,
Yes.
I know we keep always evolving in our businesses.
Yes. And there's going to be times in your business where that comes up more than once. So it's not just the beginning. In the beginning, you have that laser focus, and you have to sacrifice some things. And our kids are one of the sacrifices. Let's be honest. It could be our kids or our husband. Okay. But, I was saying, let's be honest, our kids, our husbands, our spouses, our family, just depends on your situation, will be one of those sacrifices. And as much as we don't want to admit it, it's a necessary part of our business. It's a necessary part of getting it off the ground. And it's important for our kids to see that as well, that, when mommy or daddy wants something, they're going to go all out. They're going to work hard. They're going to work diligently to get it. And it's okay, because the bottom line is, if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
Right.
So
Right.
we want to still make sure that we are fulfilling our obligations to ourselves as well. Who says that as moms we can't be happy, that we have to put everything on hold for everyone else for pretty much our whole first half of our years of life, from I'd say birth to 40s, that we have to put everything on hold for someone else and not get what we want until we're in our 70s. By then, it's just like, okay,
Right.
it's sort of the end of the road, and we're older. It's just like, no. So we want to show that to them while they're young, and it's okay. And it's all about communicating. It's all about talking to your kids, whether they get it or not. At least you're talking to them. At
Right.
least you're explaining it. And as time goes by, you're still talking and still explaining, and then they tend to grasp it as long as you're talking to them. It's when we hold things back and don't tell them and keep them in the dark, to where that's when they seem lost or confused, or they don't know what's going on, and they feel like we're putting one thing above them. So my advice is from experience. This is all from experience.
Right.
Is to really include your kids and explain to them, and to start to delegate, because like I said before, as moms, we feel like we have to be perfect, and they can't do that right. I can do it the best, so I'm going to do it. And then we're robbing them of these experiences. And then when they're 18, we expect them to know it. Well, you should know how to make a bed. Well, you should know how to take out the trash. You should know how to do the dishes. Well, you didn't have me doing them. You said I did it wrong. You didn't get that, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't.
Right.
I didn't put any responsibility on them, and now I'm expecting them to be responsible.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
And sometimes it's quicker too. I said sometimes it's quicker just to do it ourselves.
Yes, but that's where
That's wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's where the perfection comes in. Yes, so it's just like,
at first it is. At first.
Yes, I agree. So
you like moms, and we have things to do. We're moving. So
yeah. But
I'll teach you later.
Yeah, that's why I just learned to delegate over the years. Like with my boys, I have them washing their own clothes. Once they turn the age of 9, I teach them how to sort. I teach them how to wash and operate the washing machine, and I teach them how to fold and dry. They might fold and dry for the first couple of weeks, but then after a while they start just tossing their clothes in the drawer. But at least they're washed, they're cleaned, and because we have to think about it. As they grow to become adults, they're going to live their life how they want to anyway. No matter what we instilled in them or not, they're going to be their own person. Mm-hmm. So we might make them fold their clothes now, but once they're adults, if they don't want to fold their clothes, they're not going to fold their clothes. Right. And it's okay. That's something that's little. That's something that's minute.
Right.
As far as the big, grand scheme of things. So basically, we want them to be responsible. We want them to be productive. And it all starts with us delegating those tasks to them so they can start to learn how to become responsible.
Right.
You can't just expect them to just be responsible just because their age is older and they're like, okay, you should be responsible. You should know it all. No, it just doesn't work like that. We have to teach them these things, and we have to delegate these things to them and sort of pass the baton to them.
Right.
And let the perfect mommy go and let them be the messy kids that they need to be to become responsible adults. Yeah, I know it's hard because it was very hard for me. I was a perfectionist, even when it came to my husband, to the point where he was like, I'm not going to do that so you can bite my head off. I'm not going to do that so you can complain how it wasn't right. I'm not going to do that because you're going to complain afterwards or, get on my case. And I just had to take a step back like, wow, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to not be able to delegate these things to them and they feel like they can't do it because of the backlash that they're going to get if it's not my way, if it's not perfect, if it's not done right, if it's not done in a certain time. So I really had to let that stuff go. And now that I let it go, it is so great. It is so great on the other side. And what I learned that it's okay to put out B- work. Everything doesn't have to be A+.
Right.
Everything does not have to be A+. We're not in school. We're not going to get a trophy of this folded just right and tucked in the corner just right. It's just going to sit there in the corner, perfect, just right, while our kids or our family or our spouse members are feeling guilt and shame and backlash. So when you hold the two, it's just like it really doesn't compare.
Okay, I needed to hear you say that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'll say I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm in God.
That's what I am. That's what I am as well. And it's great because your boys are young, so this is the perfect time, Barbie. You don't beat yourself up. This is the perfect time because they're moldable. They can grasp these things. They're not older, so this is just like perfect time.
You know what? I feel like I'm in the grind phase. What you said, so then I have all that guilt of I need to be more in regards to more present. They're the things we used to do all the time together, and I'm constantly hearing myself say, "I'm in class. I'm working on the." I'm just constantly. But no, you're right. It has to be
it's just something. It's just a part of this entrepreneur lifestyle. It's something that you can't get around, and at different phases of your business, it's going to be prevalent. It's going to be more noticeable at different phases because the beginning phase and the middle phase and all the in between, there's different times as life keeps moving, the world keeps spinning. There's so many obstacles that's going to come your way.
Right.
So just be expectant of them and then just see it as, okay, how am I going to solve this? How I'm going to tackle this? Because we all have problems. We all have problems in life. We all have problems in our business. They're going to come regardless. No one is problem free. No one. So we have to have the mindset of, okay, how am I going to tackle this? How am I going to problem solve? How am I going to get through this? Right. And it was sort of easier for me because I grew up and my mom was on drugs my whole entire life, pretty much. She's maybe like 6 years clean and sober, and I'm 42. Okay. So I had to be responsible for myself. I had to be the adult early on. I had to get a job early. I had to buy my own food. I had to buy my own clothes. So this taught me how to handle and tackle my problems head on. I never really swept them under the rug because it doesn't get you anywhere.
Right.
So that's the mind frame that you have to have. Problems are going to come. Let me see how I'm going to tackle them. Some problems you can tackle right away. Right. Some problems you can tackle, but it takes a little more time to get them squared away. But they are solvable, and you will get through it.